In this video, you will learn how to identify the four main types of sentences. A simple sentence contains one independent clause and no subordinate clauses. A simple sentence may contain a compound subject, a compound verb, and any number of phrases. Here are some examples. Erin received a bike for her birthday. One subject, one verb, one complete thought. Therefore, I have only one independent clause. Number 2, riding to the store in the rain, she caught pneumonia. I only have one independent clause here. One subject, she, one verb, caught. Riding to the store in the rain is a participial phrase describing she. Since it describes the subject of the main clause, it is part of that same one independent clause. Number 3, she recovered from her illness and started paying more attention to weather forecasts. Here I have only one subject, she. I have a compound verb, recovered and started. But since I have only one subject, I still only have one independent clause. One independent clause makes a simple sentence. The compound sentence contains two or more independent clauses and has no subordinate clauses. Compound sentences can be created in three ways. First, they're joined by commas and coordinating conjunctions. These are your fanboys, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. They can be joined by a semicolon, or they can be joined by a semicolon and a conjunctive adverb. These are your transition words like therefore, however, consequently. When you use this construction, the conjunctive adverb must also be followed by a comma. So here are some examples. June bought asparagus at the farmer's market, and her daughter ate some on the way home. Here I have a compound sentence because I have two independent clauses. June bought asparagus at the farmer's market could be a sentence by itself. So could her daughter ate some on the way home. These two independent clauses are joined by the fanboy and a comma to create a compound sentence. Devin loves vegetables. She regularly eats carrots, broccoli, and green beans. Devin loves vegetables could be a complete sentence by itself. So could she regularly eats carrots, broccoli, and green beans. These are joined by a semicolon, which also creates a compound sentence. Finally, she enjoyed the raw asparagus. However, she preferred it roasted with salt and pepper. She enjoyed the raw asparagus, again, could be a sentence by itself. It's linked to another independent clause with a semicolon, and here I've got the conjunctive adverb, the however, comma. Complex sentence contains one independent clause and at least one subordinate clause. The subordinate clause can be placed at the beginning, middle, or end of the sentence. Because Joshua likes pizza, we had it for dinner last night. Because Joshua likes pizza is a subordinate clause. It's an adverb clause starting with the subordinating conjunction because. When your subordinate clause comes at the beginning of the sentence, you place a comma after it in front of the independent clause, we had it for dinner. The pizza place that we ordered from was crowded. Here, the subordinate clause is that we ordered from. It's a relative clause that's describing the pizza place. It comes in the middle of the independent clause, the pizza place was crowded. And number 3, Joshua was very excited when he was finally able to eat it. Joshua was very excited is the independent clause. When he was finally able to eat it is the subordinate clause. These two clauses are joined together by the subordinating conjunction when. The compound complex sentence joins these two previous types of sentences. A compound complex sentence contains two or more independent clauses and at least one subordinate clause. Because Joshua does not like vegetables, his parents sometimes try to hide them in his food, but he almost always knows. We first have a subordinate clause, because Joshua does not like vegetables, followed by two independent clauses. His parents sometimes try to hide them in his food. And the second one, but he almost always knows. Here's some practice. Determine whether each of the following sentences is simple, compound, complex, or compound complex. Pause the video, copy these two sentences, fast forward to the next slide when you'll see 3 more sentences, copy those down and pause, then review the video to hear the answers. So first I'm going to give you the answers for numbers 1 and 2. Lola likes to chase squirrels around the yard and up the tree. I have only one subject and one verb in this sentence, so I have only one independent clause, which means I have a simple sentence. Number 2, because Lola loves carrots, we give them to her as a treat. Because Lola loves carrots is a subordinate clause. Lola's a subject, loves is the verb. We give them to her as a treat is an independent clause. We is the subject, give is the verb. So one subordinate clause plus one independent clause equals a complex sentence. So now copy these sentences, pause the video, and resume play to hear the answers. Number 3, Lola comes running into the kitchen every time that I open the refrigerator door. Lola comes running into the kitchen every time is an independent clause. That I open the refrigerator door is a subordinate clause. One independent clause plus one subordinate clause equals a complex sentence. Number 4, she waits eagerly at my feet so that she can catch falling food, but I almost never drop anything. She waits eagerly at my feet is an independent clause. So that she can catch falling food is a subordinate clause. So that is a subordinating conjunction. If you didn't catch this, you definitely want to review the subordinating conjunctions. But I almost never drop anything is an independent clause. So in this sentence, I have 2 independent clauses and 1 subordinate clause. So I have a compound complex sentence. Number 5, she sleeps most of the day, yet she still seems tired all the time. She sleeps most of the day is an independent clause. She still seems tired all the time is another independent clause. These are joined by a comma and the coordinated conjunction yet. So I have 2 independent clauses and I have a compound sentence.